Hello to all you Pisceans. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Do you see my Christmas tree over there? Do you like it? Well, I do. Why am I making videos on a Mercury retrograde? I don't know. Just because I'm stubborn, I suppose? My camera just fell. And it's a new one. So my heart is like... But hey, it's just a camera, Veerle. It's just a camera. Now, having said that, how are you doing? How are you doing, you dear Pisceans, with having Mars in your sign and you're having Venus in your sign, which is great, which is fantastic. The whole month of January, you will feel this energy. You will have Venus in your sign, you will have Mars in your sign. They're not going to meet though, which is a bit of a pity, but anyways, I think the only Venus-Mars conjunction will be in your opposite sign at the end of the year, October time, I think, in Virgo. So, something to look forward to. But having Venus and Mars in your sign is great, of course, because it's not only a good time to initiate new things with Mars there. It's your Mars return, so to speak, and that happens only once every 2 years. So it's definitely a time for you Pisces to start new things in January. But, I know, I dislike it when I hear people saying but it is how it is, that Mars is going to bump into quite some tricky aspects, and so I'll try to explain how you can deal with these aspects the best. First of all, the 1st of January, 2nd of January, Mars will be with Neptune. So mind what you're doing. Be very aware of how you act, because people will, 50% of chances that people will take it differently, not understand you, or think that you were up to doing something that you wouldn't do. You see those misunderstanding about your actions, because Mars is with Neptune, and that at its worst, it's really you having your eyes closed and walking around. That's not really a good thing to do. At its best is you being super compassionate towards other people, having patience with other people, having patience with yourself, and drawing some new lines there with other people, because Mars is in your sign. That always gives you a good opportunity to redraw the lines if you have to. But with Neptune there, you're doing it in a very compassionate way. You're doing it with lots of compassion, like, So when someone was arrogant towards you, you can kind of say, this is the line here, or the other way around. Now, the middle of the month is the trickiest period, because then that same Mars will get close to Chiron and square up to Saturn in your 10th house of work. What is the 10th house? It is actually how you want to be seen by others as well, your social status and so on. So there's something tricky going on there in the midst of the month. But whenever Mars and Saturn meet up, you know that your actions, Mars, are going to be not easy. You know that there is a bit of a mountain out there that you need to climb. And but you also know that if you're going to do it, you will be very grateful, and you are going to be very satisfied about yourself. So there is something around the midst of the month. So it starts around 50, 60, 70, 80, 19th of the month. That can wake up old wounds, or that can wake up a little bit of stress there and irritation, to say the least. But whatever it is, my advice is to just go through it, basically. It sounds very easy, but it isn't. It's like, for instance, when you know that, for instance, say you're a veterinarian, or how do you say that in English? And there's a puppy coming in, and it you know that you will have to work on it like for months or for weeks, let's say. You know that's hard work to do, to get that puppy healthy, for instance. But you also know that if you're gonna do it, at the end of that, it's something amazing, the result. And it's the same that's going on with you, Pisceans. There's something maybe that considers work that you need to do, that you don't like to do, but that you know that if you're going to do it, it's going to be good for you. It's going to be very, very good for you. Although it might hurt you a little bit. I mean, a bit painful process. Although you might be a bit scared. One good advice is as well, preparation. Whenever you have Mars and Saturn together, instead of going into the fear, you can use that fear to become focused and to become prepared. That's why sometimes very scary people can be very ambitious. So you can use that energy to prepare yourself very good. I know Pisceans normally, I say generally, are not the kind of people who prepare a lot. But in this case, I would do it. I would do it because you're going to have a huge return afterwards. So in that respect, yes, if you want to start something new when it relates to you, when it relates to work, for instance, you got the green light there, but know that it's going to ask something from you. Quite some energy, quite some drive there. On the other hand, Venus is in your sign as well, so that's good. Also, Venus is going to bump into Neptune, and that's going to be a very it could be a very artistic day and a very romantic day around the 12th of the month, or very creative day. But Venus also is going to square Chiron and Saturn. So it's like the whole month that there is something that is demanded from you. And you know that you cannot get away from it. Because if you will get away from it, you feel even worse. That kind of feeling. And I hope that doesn't sound negative. I mean, it's just what it is. Another thing is that, again, it's a good time to start new things because most planets are going, certainly the fast planets are going all direct, especially as from the 8th of the month Mercury goes direct. So you definitely have the green light to start new things, and lots of us do that in January, but you in particular will start some very serious things, Saturn, Chiron, and there will be vulnerabilities there as well, but again, strength as well. Developing some huge competences. Whenever I see Mars and Saturn together, at its best, it's competence. It's getting the job done, getting it done, focusing. So, on the 8th, Mercury goes direct in your 11th house. It seems like an old aspiration that you had for a long time might now just realize itself, which is, again, fitting very well with that energy that I just described. And at the very end of the month, which will be around the 28th to 29th, then we've got Mercury bumping into Pluto for the first time, because it went retrograde, Mercury, in that 11th house of yours of aspirations, friends, societies, networks, and societies. No, associations, I want to say. Organizations and networks, and you have been thinking about a lot to make that a bit more structured because it's in Capricorn. And now that Mercury goes direct, it seems like things are going the way that you want them to go, maybe not as fast enough. And at the very end of the month, it seems also that some truth is really, really revealing itself, because Mercury then, for the first time, it touches Pluto. So I talked about that in December. About the Mercury-Pluto aspect. So definitely lots of truths there that are going to reveal itself, and that's good, you know, for better or for worse. And last but not least, I don't want to make these videos too long, especially the first one here. But Jupiter sextile Saturn, and Jupiter is your it's your ruler. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius and also of Pisces, and it is sextiling Saturn again, and for the whole month. So Jupiter there in a very value kind of house, in the 8th house, which is value of other people, how you value other people, how they value you. It's finances that you share with other people. And it's sextiling that Saturn in your 10th house. So that's good. So probably you might get a bit more money out of what you're doing when it comes to work or when it comes to support of other people. And if that is the case, that will be great, wouldn't it? Having said that, it's a very interesting month for you Pisces when you have the patience, when you have a bit of compassion, and you do, certainly for yourself, having a bit of compassion, doing the job step by step, and you will be fine. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening to this little video. And see you next month. Bye-bye.